Good morning, grade first. Now, this is a revision lesson. Okay, so we will start with lesson one. We did so already, but I'm going to repeat it. So you must listen to the answers and listen carefully. So I'm going to speak very slowly so that you can listen to the answers. Okay, so this is page 61 in your activity book. We will do page 61 to page 64. The topic is water and oil. Now, this picture shows this is about fossil fuels. Now, we must first know what fossil fuels are. Now, fossil fuels are formed from the remains of dead animals and plants. Okay? It's the remains of dead animals and plants formed from millions of years ago. Okay, I will repeat it. So, it's fuels, fossil fuels are formed from remains of dead animals and plants from million years ago. Now, if you look at the picture, the light blue, light the light blue side, okay, there you can say the light blue on in the picture, it's the topsoil. Okay, that's the top of the ground, the topsoil. Call that the topsoil. Okay, then the darker blue, there you can see there's a tree, there's dead animals, the tree is cut off. So it's dead animals, there's dead animals and plants. Now, these dead animals and plants form over millions of years. It forms then fossil fuels. So the light blue is topsoil. Then you can see there's dead animals and plants. Then that's the brown part. Then the darker brown, that there's the rock and the sand. Okay, and the white side that you call the fossil fuels. So that how fossil fuels are formed. So the topsoil is where we're walking on. Okay. Then that's light blue. The darker blue is the dead animals and plants. The brown part is the sand, the rock, the sand and the rock, and the white part that's then the fossil fuels. But this fossil fuels are formed over millions of years, and then you get the underground water. Okay. Um, then the second part, you can say there's the second part. There's again the same thing, the topsoil. Then you get a layer of mud. The second picture, layer of mud. You call the sediment, layers of mud and sediment. Over the ground. Making sediment means it's a layer of very fine dust. Okay, layers of very fine dust. That is the second part of the picture. The second part is the sediment. It's a layers of very fine dust. Okay, and then you get the mud and the rocks again. Okay, and then you can see then you get the dead animals laying there again and plants, and then you get the fossil fuels again. So the process is repeating itself over and over. Okay, so the second part of the picture, the blue part, is the layer of mud and sediment formed from the organic matter. The arrow there shows it's a layer of mud and sediment. Now, sediment is a layer of very fine dust, and then you get the topsoil, the sand and the rock, and then you get the dead animals and plants, and the white part again is the fossil fuels. So I will repeat it again slowly. The blue part in the first picture, the top picture is the topsoil. In the darker blue, you can see the dead animals and plants. Then you can see the rock, the brown. The light brown is the rock and the sand. The rock and the sand. Then you get the white part, that is the fossil fuel. Okay? The rock and the sand is light brown. Dark brown is the soil, and then you get the fossil fuel. The second part of the picture, you get a layer of mud and sediment form over the organic matter. So the layer of sand and a layer of mud and sand form over the organic matter, means it's formed now a sediment. The sediment is a layer of very fine dust. Then you get again the rock, sand, that's the brown parts. Then you can see again dead animals and plants, and then the white part that you call the fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, kids, are formed over millions of years. So it's remains of dead animals and plants. Fossil fuels are remains of dead animals and plants formed over millions of years. Okay, that's on page 61. Now, if you go to page 62, now you must remember this will be in your activity, in your revision sheet, and also in the test or your exam. You're probably gonna write. Okay, so in a worksheet, we will give you worksheets. This will be again, or ask again about this, and then if you write exam, this part will also be in the exam. Let's go to page 62. On page 62, they must just draw. There's four blocks you can see. They must just draw. The question is draw pictures of four things that you use every day that require fossil fuels. Draw pictures of four things you use every day that require fossil fuels to work. Remember, fossil fuels are dead animals and plants and sand and rock. Okay. Um, So there you can draw anything about animals. You can draw a tree, you can draw plants, you can draw some rocks. So that how fossil fuels are formed. Okay, you can draw it. If you can't draw, you can just write there dead animals, plants, rock, and sand. Okay, that's on page 62. Page 63. Page 63. They must tell me, you must pick or put a tick to show whether you think it's advantage or disadvantage about the early desalination plant. Okay, now a desalination plant is where they turn uh, salt water into fresh water. The steam of the salt water they turn into fresh water. That is a desalination plant. Okay, it's a process where they removing salt from a substance, usually from water or oil. That is desalination. The process of removing salt from a substance, usually from water or soil. So desalination here in Saudi, we remove the salt, the sea, they turn the seawater into fresh water for drinking water, uh, and for cooking and bathing. Okay, so because Saudi don't have permanent rivers and lakes, therefore we're using desolation plants. That's a desolation plant where the process of removing salt from a substance, usually from water or soil. Um, now let's look at page 63. What you must do there? You must put a tick advantage or disadvantage. It costs 16 billion rands or reals, sorry, 16 billion reals to build Jebel Ali. You can say it is an advantage. You can make a plus. It plus. It costs because it's going to be useful, drinking water, for bathing, for cooking. So that is like plus is important. It's a plus, but you can also say it's a minus because it's very expensive. Okay, that's the disadvantage. It's very expensive, but the plus side is it is also for drinking, for cooking, and for bathing. Okay, so you can tick off plus and minus. Um, Desolation now provides most of Saudi Arabia's water. Is a plus. You can tick a plus because Saudi Arabia don't have permanent lakes and waters. So desolation now provides most of Saudi Arabia's water. You can tick it as a plus. Number three, the processed water has to be pumped 300 kilometers from Jubail to Riyadh. You can say it's a plus and a minus because it must come from Jubail to Riyadh. 320 kilometers is very far to pump water from Jubail to Riyadh. So it's a plus, you get water here, but minus is because uh, it's also very far from here. Anything can happen. If something happens, the pipes to the underground tunnels, or then and then we won't get water. So it's a minus and a plus. Okay, that's number three. That's number three. Number four, 30 years ago, Jubail was a small fishing village, but now it's a busy industrial center. You can say it's a plus because people they are work now for people. So it's a plus. You can make a tick there and a plus. The plant created new jobs. Make a plus there. Um, the next one, desolation plants require power and transport with use fossil fuels. Make a plus. We need desolation plants. Yes, but you can put also underneath a minus because it uses a lot of power and a lot of transport to build the desolation plants. So make it a plus and a minus. Then the next one, byproducts from desolation can damage sea life when they get dumped into the sea. That's definitely a minus. So mark the minus. Then the next one, desalated water is much more expensive than water from other sources. Yes, we get the minus, it's more expensive. And the minus. Then the next one, the area now has 5,500 companies from more than 100 different countries. So you can make it a plus. More work for people, more employment. So make it a plus. Okay, that's the answer of page 63. Let's go to page 64. Page 64. What do we mean by irrigation? Irrigation, boys, it's just the watering of plants, normally on farms at certain times, so it can grow. So on farms, the farmers to water the crops, so in certain times, so it can grow. Okay, so that it's just watering of plants or on farms, or watering of crops at certain times. That is irrigation. Okay. So it's watering of plants or crops at certain times. Then, so that it can grow. What is the main problem Um, that's the main problem that faces farmers in the Middle East. The main problem in the Middle East is that there is no permanent water. There is no permanent rivers or lakes. There are no permanent rivers or lakes. That's the main problem in the Middle East. There's no permanent rivers or lakes. Okay. Um, that's number two. So there's a lack of water. Main problem is there's a lack of water, and there's no permanent rivers and lakes in the Middle East. Lack of water, no permanent rivers or lakes. Number three, describe how a canal works. Now, a canal is an underground tunnel built so we can use the groundwater. Canal is an underground tunnels built so we can use the groundwater. Okay, canal is an underground tunnel built so we can use the groundwater. And number four, they're asking. Some people argue that the isolation plan is a good idea. Others said it's a bad idea. Right, support your point of view. So you can say for desolation. Desolation for it supply fresh water. It converts salt water to fresh water, and it is more effective. It's much more effective. So that's three advantages for desolation. It supply fresh water. It converts salt water to fresh water, and it is more effective. The argument against desolation is very expensive and large amounts of power and large amount of transport is used. Are used to get the desolation payments. Okay, so for desolation, you can say it's applied fresh water. You convert salt water to fresh water. It's more effective because you can use it for drinking, for cooking, for bathing, and against it's very expensive, and we use a lot of power, and we lose a lot of transport to build these desolation walls. Okay, guys, thank you very much. That was activity one. Be safe, stay indoors. Thank you very much.